Did you know that a simple fruit sitting in your kitchen right now could be quietly damaging your heart in ways you'd never suspect? It sounds unthinkable, almost unbelievable. We have been taught since childhood that fruit is the ultimate medicine, a gift from nature that keeps us young and vibrant. But after decades of caring for older adults in cardiac units across America, I've seen far too many patients arrive with heart problems that weren't caused by disease alone. Some were triggered by everyday foods they trusted completely, foods they ate with the intention of being healthy. I'm Dr. John, and what I'm about to share may challenge everything you've ever believed about healthy eating after age 60. I have stood by hospital beds where families were confused, asking, how could this happen? He eats so well. The answer often lay in the fruit bowl on their kitchen counter. These aren't exotic tropical fruits or rare, expensive ingredients. I'm talking about the very things you pack in lunch bags, blend into your morning smoothies, or enjoy as a light snack after a walk. As your body changes with age, the rules of nutrition change with it. What was a superfood at age 30 can become a silent stressor at age 70. These familiar choices can interact with your essential medications, place an invisible strain on your arteries, and disrupt the delicate electrical rhythm that keeps your heart beating.
By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which 5 fruits can pose hidden risks to older adults, why they become dangerous only after age 60, and what steps you can take today to protect your heart before irreversible damage occurs. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn may literally add years to your life. Before we dive into the first fruit, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you are ready to protect your heart, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I can learn how to serve you better. Now, let's look at the first hidden danger.
For most of our lives, grapefruit has carried the image of a clean, healthy start to the morning, a bright bowl on the breakfast table, a symbol of discipline and well-being in American culture. But as we cross into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, our bodies change in ways we often don't see or feel. The heart becomes more sensitive, medications become more essential, and the foods we once considered harmless can start interacting with those medications in ways that place enormous strain on the very organ keeping us alive. Few foods are more deceptively dangerous for older adults than grapefruit. What makes it so concerning is not its acidity, but powerful compounds hidden in its flesh called furanocoumarins. These chemicals interfere with an enzyme in the liver responsible for breaking down over 50 commonly prescribed medications, the very drugs older Americans rely on to stay alive. Statins for cholesterol, calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, and even certain blood thinners. When grapefruit blocks this enzyme, the medication in your bloodstream doesn't simply stay at normal levels. It climbs far higher than intended, sometimes doubling or tripling without any warning sign. For the aging heart, this silent rise can be catastrophic, leading to sudden dangerous drops in blood pressure or muscle inflammation. Then we have the banana. For decades, bananas have been the comfort fruit of American households, soft, familiar, and gentle on the stomach.
Many older adults reach for a banana, believing it to be the safest choice they can make. But as the heart grows older and kidney function begins to decline, even a fruit as ordinary as a banana can become unexpectedly dangerous. The concern lies in the fruit's extraordinarily high potassium content. Potassium is vital for every heartbeat. It controls the electrical signals that tell your heart when to contract. However, after age 60, especially for those with hypertension or kidney disease, the body no longer clears potassium the way it once did. Too much potassium does not warn you with pain. It silently interferes with your heart's electrical rhythm, making each beat less stable and more fragile than you realize. Your morning habit could be placing your heart at risk of real, irreversible harm.
Next, we must talk about the category of food that carries a warm, nostalgic familiarity for many older Americans: dried fruits. They remind us of hiking trips, trail mix shared on family vacations, or the simple comfort of raisins stirred into a hot bowl of morning oatmeal. They seem innocent, natural, and wholesome.
However, as the heart grows older and blood vessels lose their youthful resilience, dried fruits can become a hidden source of stress that quietly pushes the cardiovascular system towards danger. What feels like a small harmless snack can over time overwhelm the heart in ways most seniors never imagine. The danger begins with concentration. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but the sugars remain, condensed into a dense, potent form. A small handful of raisins or dried apricots contains the same sugar load as an entire bowl of fresh fruit. For an aging body, this sudden dose of fructose enters the bloodstream quickly, driving blood sugar upward in sharp, aggressive spikes. Each spike forces your blood vessels to expand and contract under pressure, a stress the older heart struggles to handle. Over months and years, these surges contribute to inflammation inside artery walls, thickening and stiffening them. This process silently creates the conditions where plaque can build, narrowing the coronary arteries that feed your heart. This leads us to another pantry staple, canned fruits in syrup.
For generations, these have been a symbol of comfort in American homes. Soft peaches served at Sunday dinner, or sweet pears kept for a quick dessert. They are convenient and easy to chew, but behind this comfort lies a double whammy of danger. The syrup surrounding the fruit is not just sweet, it is a concentrated solution of sugar and, in many brands, added sodium. These two forces work against an aging heart with ruthless efficiency. The sugar triggers inflammation, while the sodium forces your body to retain water. For an aging heart already working against reduced pumping power, this extra fluid becomes overwhelming, raising blood pressure and forcing the heart to push harder with every single beat. What looks like a soft, soothing snack is actually driving your heart toward a breaking point you may never see coming.
Across America, fruit juice has long been advertised as a gold standard of health. A bright glass of orange juice at the breakfast table, a small bottle of apple juice in a lunch bag, or a refreshing sip on a warm afternoon. For many older adults, fruit juice feels safe, gentle, and even nourishing. But as the years advance and the heart grows more fragile, the very thing that makes juice taste so pleasant becomes the very thing that silently threatens the cardiovascular system. Unlike whole fruit, juice enters the body with the force of liquid sugar. The danger begins the moment that liquid touches your bloodstream. When you eat a whole piece of fruit, the fiber acts as a natural brake, slowing down the absorption of sugar. But in juice, that fiber is gone. Without it, the sugar floods the body in minutes. This rapid spike forces your pancreas to release a massive surge of insulin, and your blood vessels must expand quickly to handle the sudden metabolic load. In a younger person, the vessels are flexible and can adapt easily. However, for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, where artery walls have naturally thickened and flexibility has decreased, this sudden demand becomes a direct physical stress. Each sugar spike inflames the inner lining of the arteries, making them more vulnerable to plaque buildup. Over time, this chronic inflammation narrows the vessels that supply oxygen to your heart, placing it at high risk of weakening.
For seniors living with diabetes or high blood pressure, juice becomes even more dangerous because many brands, even those labeled 100% pure, contain as much sugar as a can of soda. This liquid sugar pushes blood glucose to levels that silently damage nerves and kidneys, while the heart is forced to pump harder against growing arterial resistance. Some older adults notice this as unusual fatigue or shortness of breath after a meal, while others feel nothing at all until the day their heart signals it can no longer keep up. It is a relentless burden that gradually chips away at your heart's strength, one glass at a time.
As we reach our 60s, 70s, and 80s, the heart we carry within us is no longer the same heart that pushed us through childhood, through the heavy lifting of raising families, and through decades of hard work. It has become more delicate, more vulnerable, and more easily overwhelmed by the choices we once made without a second thought. The surprising dangers we've discussed today, the grapefruit, the bananas, the dried fruits, the canned syrups, and the fruit juices, are not meant to frighten you. Instead, they are meant to awaken you to a truth that too many older adults in America learn only after a medical crisis has already occurred. Even the most familiar foods can quietly damage your heart when age, medications, and chronic conditions change how your body responds to them. My message to you today is not to fear fruit. It is to respect the reality that your heart now lives with a much smaller margin for error than it did 30 years ago. Now, each spike in blood sugar, each surge in potassium, and each hidden load of sodium places a physical strain on an organ that has served you faithfully for a lifetime. Just as your heart has carried you through every joy and every hardship, it now needs something vital from you in return: awareness, intentionality, and the willingness to make choices that protect its strength rather than destroy its balance. No one can see inside their own arteries.
No one feels plaque forming atau electrical signals weakening in real time, but the damage is real, and most importantly, it is preventable. You cannot change the years that are already behind you, but you can absolutely shape the years ahead by treating your heart with the caution and care it has earned. Now that you understand these hidden risks, the next question is unavoidable. What steps will you take today to restore your heart strength? These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. I'd love to hear from you. Share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your life. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.